friends, it's Jean from the Inky Studio. Do you have one of these laying around in your stash that you haven't used for a long time? Well, it's time to get that out because today we're going to be working with a Gelli plate and Distress Oxide inks. I really like using these inks because they're fast and like instant gratification and you know easy to use. Acrylics are fun too, but they're a little time consuming. So this to me was just like a fun project to do and it went quite fast. So we're going to be making some backgrounds and then we're going to take those and make some tags out of them. So let's get started. I'm going to be using the Gelli plate that, this is the brand I'm using, but I think any kind of Gelli plate is going to give you the same results. It'll be okay. And I'm putting it on a piece of white cardstock so that you can see the colors a little better. And please excuse my dirty towel, but I know better than to not put something down when I work with mixed media. So I'm going to be using the Distress Oxides, and I want to do like a fall colors because the journal I'm working on is fall. And I'm going to use fired brick. I'm going to use, oh, wait a minute, where's the other one at here? Dried marigold and forest moss. So these are the three colors I'm going to be using. And I also have a spray bottle, and this is a old, used to be lens cleaner, but it's any kind of a misting type of spray bottle will do. Get something at the Dollar Tree that sprays, just whatever, something. Actually, I would recommend a smaller nozzle than maybe the large ones you use for cleaning windows or whatever, because you want to be able to control the water a little bit. And so I'm going to start by putting my lighter shade. I'm looking at my shade, so I'm going to put the lighter at the top and go down to a darker shade. Now the only thing about choosing your colors, of course, is that you don't want to make too much brown. And therefore when I put these colors on, I'm putting them on sort of separated so that they're not overlapping too much, just a little bit overlapping between the colors, not a whole lot. Just going to put down this pad, I'm just tapping it across here, just enough to get some kind of a color going there. And I see that actually I want less green and more red. There we go. And so once you've done that, and this is such an easy technique, and I think I put off using the Gelli plate for quite a while, just because I didn't want to use acrylics. I don't know, they seemed messy. So I'm going to spray, and it's a decent amount, and it's enough to see it bubble up, if you can kind of see how it's bubbling there a little bit. I have cut pieces of cardstock. I have vanilla cardstock. I have white cardstock. I have some book pages, and these pages are not super thin, so the real thin antique pages probably wouldn't do well, but this is kind of an average book page weight. And then I have just plain typing paper here. Now each time you do this, you're going to get a different result. So the first time down, now this is a lot of water, which if you're using acrylic paints, it's kind of a different, it acts a little differently. But I'm just going to lay this down gently, just sort of lay it down and then just gently tap it. I'm not pressing too hard, just enough. And I'm going to take it off either right from left or left to right rather than top to down. And the reason is because you're going to get this type of a gathering, and you can keep the colors truer if you lift it this way than this way. And so I have this. Now I do have all of this water ink up there. I'm going to just sort of make it drip down. Now if you don't like the drippy look like that, you would go in with a piece of paper towel or whatever and dab it dry. But I think that is fine with me. I like that look. And you can see where, this didn't make direct contact with the paper, but it looks interesting to me. And the same down here. So this is the first layer, and it's going to be the heaviest and most vibrantly colored one. Now you see there's some bubbling up here on the side. I will just sort of have it trying to keep it in the same area, but I'll just sort of like move it around a little bit like that from the edge so that I can get in here, and I'm going to respray it again because there's still ink left on here. Now this was using a vanilla colored cardstock, so now I'm going to use a white cardstock, and of course the white is going to be more vibrant. And I'm just going to tap it again because I just sprayed it with water, so it just depends. It's just that using the Oxide inks, you do not have to press really hard to get a print off. And again, I'm going to lift from this side over, and here is the next one. So you can see where the big drop, that the pooled colors over here that I kind of made go into the inside, you can see that it kind of left this splotchy area there, which is interesting. It just makes it more interesting. And again, if you don't want to do the drip on the side, you can just pat dry. Now, I would recommend using a piece of muslin to do some of your patting, because as you pat it dry, you're going to end up with an interesting looking colors on your muslin, and then you can just tear these into strips or cut them down. You'll just have some interesting patterns on here. The key though is you don't want to do this. You just want to tap it in different areas, because if you do a scrub or a rub like that, you're just going to make more brown. So there is that one. So you can see that it's more vibrant because you have a white background, but you have less ink. So each time you do this, you're going to get less ink. Now I'm going to do a book page, and there's I might put just a little bit of water, and just a little bit. So here we go with the book page, and that makes it an interesting thing. And actually I should have put more water on it probably, so I'm just going to soak up some of this remaining ink on here. And so it's starting to create a brown color, as you can see, because our colors are beginning to mix a little bit. But this is fall, so it's not so bad, right? Not so bad. So I'm going to take my muslin, just going to soak up the last part of that, like that, and kind of get some of these little dibs and dabs up. And then I'll just go over and clean it for the next project. I wanted to show you though another way to lift it up, and I wasn't able to do it that last time because there wasn't enough water on there. So let's start with now let's say you have two colors that you don't want to mix. You don't want these colors to mix, let's say. And so we're going to put one here on top. Now you don't have to go this way. You can also do it in stripes. I mean, you can do it either way. And now I'm going to put the two colors on opposite ends. All right, like so. And in the middle, I'm going to choose a brown. Wish I had, let me see. Oh yeah, here we go. I couldn't find this the other day. All right. And this is sort of a, so I'm going to choose a brown, some kind of a neutral brown to go in between. It could be, depending on your colors and the effects you want, maybe it'll be a black, maybe it'll be a navy, but some darker color that goes with your theme there. I'm going to put that in the middle. Now, actually, the mixing of the dried marigold and the red would just produce a deeper orange probably. But let's say you had yellow and blue and you didn't want to make a green. So you can put like a navy in between or something of that nature. It's just an idea. And this is all experimental, absolutely. And that's sort of the joy of it, is that you just get very different results. So putting on a pretty good coat there, and I want to make sure that all the ink has been activated in some way. And now I'm going to take Now, I'm not sure I like this. I did this earlier and it's all dried. So you want to make sure it's dried, but I'm not sure I'm going to like this. I might, I'm not sure. So what I will do then is I will put this on the back side just in case I end up liking the side better, which actually I do. And then I've got that excess there on the side. What I might do with that instead of dripping it, I might just put my muslin down there, kind of catch it up a little bit. And so, yeah, I just keep on doing this, and it's kind of cool. So now, actually, I do like that better than I do this side. Now, your paper is definitely going to bend and crinkle and do all those things, but it'll be all right because once it's dried, you lay it underneath some books, it'll straighten right out. It won't be a problem. So now we have all this going on. So now I'm going to take my book page, and you could use any paper for this, and I'm going to do something just a little different. I'm not going to make the same mistakes as the last time. I'm just going to dampen that up. And so for this one, I'm going to pull it up just slightly and pull it down slightly. Pull it to this side just a little bit. And so what I'm kind of doing here is I'm mixing the colors a little bit more. And you can kind of see that, you know, it's a different look than the, you know, 1, 2, 3 color that we did. Let's see, where did I do that one? Yeah. It's just a little different look. They're a little bit more blended, but not blended too much. So just by making your paper go down just a little bit, like a ½ inch, up and down, back and forth, kind of gives it more of a blending without making brown. So I like that. That looked really good. So that is essentially, I'm just going to mop this up with my my muslin piece. That's essentially what this process is. And here's just regular typing paper. And now I'm going to come down. This is like the end of the ink. I'm going to now give it a good press because now I want to absorb all that I can. And because there's not much water on that, I can lift any way I want. And then we have this speckling, which can be very interesting. And I would recommend doing a whole bunch of these in different color combinations and saving them so that when you're ready to use that color combination, you'll have some already made. And I'm going to stop the film here, and next time we get together, I'm going to show you what I did with all of these backgrounds and stuff that we made with the Gelli plate, and we'll put together a few fall tags. So we'll see you then. Have a great and crafty day. Bye.